Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. My name is Joe Garry, and I'm delighted to welcome you to Broadway Buzz and our astonishing show, Wicked. It has just celebrated its 10th anniversary on Broadway. It is a pop cultural phenomenon. It's in this recent holiday, it was the top-selling show on Broadway, playing to 102%. God knows where they put those poor people. And I'm happy to tell you that they spent $300 a ticket to see the show in New York, so you're really getting a bargain here. In any case, you're seeing a show that is a kind of seminal show. It's brilliant on so many levels in terms of its sort of dense and interesting and compelling story. It's phenomenal music that has tremendous range. The music goes from sort of medieval chants to pop songs that are indelible to ballads that just take you right through the roof. It's an extraordinary score, brilliantly conceived. 200 of the most spectacular costumes you've ever seen, 100 wigs. It's an extraordinary work. It took 14 trucks to bring all of the scenery to Cleveland to present Wicked. It's an amazing show. Let me go back to the beginning. You know, great ideas have a way of perpetuating themselves through time. So let me introduce, of course, the man who started this whole idea. His name was Lyman Frank Baum. He was born in 1866 and he died in 1919. He, of course, was the brilliant author of the book that was originally called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It was shortened to The Wizard of Oz in subsequent editions, but its original title was The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It's so interesting when you look at his life, and it's really worth taking a few minutes to look at Frank Baum's life, because he lived 2/3 of his life mostly being a failure before he finally had this triumphant success with The Wizard of Oz. It took him 2/3 of his life to find the yellow brick road, but when he did, he certainly went over the rainbow. Okay, so to begin with, he was born, as I told you, in 1866. His father, actually, and he lived right near Syracuse, New York. His father was an oil baron who was in competition with John D. Rockefeller. So he was born into a very wealthy family. He lived in a palatial Victorian home. But as a young boy, he was diagnosed with a very severe heart condition. And he spent his whole life suffering with this severe heart condition. It ultimately would take him at the end of his life. But as a child then, he was very protected, living a very quiet life with his family. So issues that would become enormously important to him very early on, the sense of family and the security of home. Of course, this will be the whole hallmark of the development of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And